After taking down Gary Sinise, nearly losing his own life, and taking down one of the most incredibly sought-after criminals on the East Coast and in Europe, Alex Cross is back, and this time he's with a case that is going to have one of the most memorable nemesis of his entire career. There are several murders happening in the DC area of random women and men with no identification, leaving them to be Jane Does and John Does. Alex has no idea as to what this pattern is or who it could possibly be, and the only lead he has leads to a British diplomat who is incredibly hard to pin these murders on. Being that he is a British diplomat, it means he has diplomatic immunity, so he can be completely immunized from the entire case because of his standing. So Alex has to be able to find a way to pin these murders on him and not get himself in trouble in the same sense. The murderer is involved in a game called The Four Horsemen, based on the story The Four Horsemen, and he plays the character Death, who basically goes around and starts killing everyone. But he takes it to a new level where instead of only fantasizing about killing people, he's actually going out and killing random people based on how he rolls these 20-sided die that you would find in Dungeons & Dragons. Not to mention, with all of this craziness that's happening, but Alex Cross gets himself engaged. And that's not a spoiler. It's actually even stated on the back of the book that she's his fiancé. She becomes part of this entire case as well, and so the two of them end up trying to solve this case together and get into this web of this murderer and his game that he plays throughout all of DC. Once again, James Patterson does an amazing job with creating these insane villains and insane criminals in his stories. Every single book that I have read so far in this Alex Cross series has been incredible with the amount of depth that he goes into with all of his criminals and the things that really make them tick, the things that really turn them on. It's incredible how he's able to really delve into the psyche of criminals and pick them to pieces and make it interesting to the reader. And not every book is the same. Not every criminal that is in each novel is the same as far as what is wrong with them, but the level of intensity just continues to build with each book. Each criminal is crazier than the last. Each criminal is more messed up than the last one. Along with that, with giving the criminal such depth, he also gives Alex a lot of depth. He really gets to the nitty-gritty of his love for Christine and for his kids and for his grandmother. Every book is, whenever he gets to talking about the things he loves and the people he loves, it always makes my heart feel kind of warm and fuzzy because it's such an unconditional love that he has for people. You know, when you think of a cop, you don't really think, or a detective, you don't really think of them as someone who can be as loving as him. You always think of them as someone who's hard as stone and has to be a certain way in order to get people to do what they need them to do and be able to catch the criminals and have no feeling. But Alex is a great example of people that, of detectives that are not like that and that can't be like that. Alex has so much room in his heart for everyone, and there's just so much that he loves and so many people he loves that it's inspiring. It's definitely one of the more heartwarming kind of main characters you will ever find, I think, in a mystery series. You really, really root for him in a lot of ways because of the fact that your heart opens to him because his heart is open to everyone else. I really just love how James Patterson is able to create such amazing characters and is able to really just dig deep into them and really just make them human instead of just characters on a page. In all honesty, this series is going to probably continue to be one of my favorites because of the fact that the novel that I read in this series, I grow to love Alex more and more, which is completely mind-boggling to me because it is exactly like how Patterson is able to increase the intensity of every criminal when you don't think he can. Every novel, you begin to love Alex more and more and more until you start hitting that line where you don't think you can love him anymore. And then Patterson continues to show you ways to make you love him more. But so the next book review that I will be doing is going to be on the next book in the Alex Cross series. I'm going to basically be going through the next two books of this series, which are Roses Are Red and then Violets Are Blue. And then I think I'll go off of Alex Cross for a little bit and go into a different series because I don't want to spend 5-10 book reviews on just Patterson. I want to be able to read other books, but I did want to get a good chunk of this series done so that I could say, like, okay, I've read to this point in the series, and now later on I can go on to the next section of the series once I've read all of these other books that I still need to read. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for joining me in this book review of Pop Goes the Weasel by James Patterson. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you're not already and you'd like to be, hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye guys!